Hello there everyone and welcome back to Tune Talk with Andy. Now in today's episode we will be discussing In Cauda Venenum by Opeth. This is their most recently published album during their prog metal era. And to be more specific, it was released on September 27th in 2019. So it actually had its birthday quite recently. I would have reviewed this a bit sooner and posted it if I'd begun this journey towards the earlier end of September, but sadly, it didn't quite make it. But you know what? That doesn't matter. It's still a phenomenal album, and we will be discussing it today. With me today, we have a recurring guest, AGP. How are you doing, man?
Hey, it's going well, and this time with Facecam too, so
Yeah,
that'll
have
be
a look at
interesting.
that.
Yeah,
That's a new one.
I'm wearing my trusted Lepers shirt, so very fitting. I washed my Opeth shirt yesterday, but
Yeah, I
so
love that. And I have
yeah,
my trusty Rammstein hoodie as I had on
yeah.
yesterday during that recording. But you know what? That is absolutely fine.
Oh boy, wearing the wrong shirt to the wrong recording. Oh my god,
Absolutely.
what a tragedy.
But yeah, regardless, this album is actually quite unique in the fact that there's actually two albums. There's two variants. There's one, the initially written one, which was in Swedish, and then they have the translated version into English, which I mean, it's fully understandable that they did it because most of their songs are English, just on their other albums, but having the option between choosing, I think that's actually really sick that they actually put the effort into doing that. Though I would highly recommend you guys to actually check out the Swedish one first, because that is how it was initially written. And I've got to say, even if you don't understand what they're saying, you will feel it. I can promise you that. But yeah, fun fact: the cover artist for the cover art is named Travis Smith, and you might recognize him as the cover artist of the Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare album. He did that cover art as well, so that's actually quite interesting. It's one album AGP is quite fond of.
Yes,
But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the first song. It's called Livets Trädgård.
yeah, I'll say that. I think that's it.
Okay, right. Well, just quick info. We've said this before, but we are Norwegians, so we do understand quite a bit of Swedish, but at certain times, reading it can be a bit iffy, so don't judge us for the pronunciations. But yeah, regardless, this song, in my books, is a 5 out of 10 because this feels more like a transition-esque type song. It introduces you to the album and it sets the vibe really well. So there's nothing else to say about it. It's purely instrumentals from what I can remember. And yeah, it really sets the tone early on. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna follow your rules too. I put this a 5 out of 10. Like, you can't compare this to the rest of the album. So
Absolutely.
at the beginning, we get this ominous choir and what sounds like fake strings to me, at least that backs them up. It really sets the mood for the rest of the album very well, at least in my books. As time moves on, we also get this cool little keyboard riff. I actually really like the arrangement on this song, and I love the following lyric that transitions us to the next song. I translated it from Swedish to English, and it translates to circa because if you stop thinking, then you will be dead. I mean, that's kind of a deep sentence that just like really hit me for some reason.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that lyric sentence that transitions us to the next song, Svekets Prins.
Yeah.
The transition from Livets Trädgård to this song, it's just fantastic. I really love it. I really love the intro. The great vocal harmonies and melodies. It really packs a punch. It really kicks us off. I love the keys and the drums on this song. Fantastic lead guitar during the song, somewhere in there. Don't really exactly remember where though. This song really has a lot of epic and ominous parts, which really fits with the whole theming and the moods of the album, at least I feel that. I think the verse is great. I really like the chord progression, the vocal harmonies and melody. I'm not really sure if I agree with the transition to what I do believe is the pre-chorus or the chorus. The ending is great. I love the harmonies. Very pleasing vocal melodies overall. The bridge is great. The outro is good. This initially got a 7.5 for me, but then when you were listening to this, you really talked about how much you loved this song, and then I actually upped this up to an 8. So,
Hey, my
good
man.
job, Andy, I guess.
Yeah, now there's actually something quite special about this song that I noticed, but we'll get into that a bit later on. I feel like this song has such a cool intro, and the instrumentals overall, they're so intriguing. And the opening guitar bit is such class. That is exactly how I like my guitars. They had some great choice of acoustics throughout, and there's something about the vocals that are kind of a lullaby-esque haunting vibe, and it properly sets the tone for the song. The raspy vocals, I freaking love that, especially when it kicks in towards the meat of the song, aka just the middle section bit. It has great progression throughout the tune, and if you listen closely to the instrumentals at around 1 minute 45 seconds to 1 minute 50 seconds on the track, you will hear remnants of the last song on the album, Allting tar slut. This is one thing I noticed on my re-listen, and I just had to yell at AGP and ask him if he had heard it before.
I never noticed that.
You apparently never noticed it.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice that.
So I'm really surprised I was able to pick it up, but it's maybe because I freaking love the last song.
Oh yeah.
And it's just been stuck in my head ever since I heard it, for some reason. But yeah, overall I gave this song a 9 out of 10. I freaking love this song. It's such a strong Opeth song. This is the Opeth I really like. But yeah, on to the next song, which is called Hjertet vet hva handen gjør, which, if you translate it, means the heart knows what the hand does.
Yeah. The English version is called Heart in Hand or something, but both works, at least for me. So
yeah, this is just like the direct translation, if you want to put it like that. But yeah, it has a great intro with some funky vocal runs, I've got to say that. The lyricism overall is quite good in my opinion. If you're not Swedish, Norwegian or Nordic, you might not be able to fully understand it, but if you take an initiative in learning the language, then you will definitely understand it. Fuck Sweden, by the way. Anyways, it has great and fully captivating instrumentals. It really gets me going. The chorus itself is class. I freaking love the guitar solo, and the ending is really sweet. It has a really nice switch up to fade into the ending. I'm not sure if that's a correct way of explaining it, but just before the ending there is this switch up with its pacing that really hit at home with me. But it can get a bit repetitive in certain sections, and it does drag a tiny bit as well, which is why it's not as highly ranked as it could have been, but it's still an 8 out of 10, so I still do appreciate this song. Your thoughts?
So, well, my ranking of this, actually, I based this because I actually initially ranked the previous song 7.5, and I couldn't decide, because this song for me is a 7, but ideally 7.25, because it isn't as good as Svekets Prince, but it isn't as bad as a 7, so it's like kind of in the middle between there. I really like the rhythm, the guitar and the bass score in the intro. The drums back it very well. The verse is decent. The pre-chorus though is great. And then we get to the chorus though, which is just average. It's decent for me. I must say the drumming on this song is great. The acoustic section too is great. One thing Opeth is, the expert at is acoustic section, so I'm not surprised there. This song is a bit long for me, but it's got a really nice outro. I don't really have much else to say about this.
Fair enough.
It's a good song, but nothing I'll put on myself at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
Now, from Hjertet vet hva hannen gjør, we go to... Fuck me, det. De nærmest sørjande. This will just be a yeah. I feel like this will just be a competition on who can pronounce these Swedish-ass names the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, this next song, it didn't really resonate with me. I give it a 6.5.
Oh.
It's got an very ominous, scary intro. Lots of harmonies. It sounds like something from a church choir. Great vocals, decent vocal melodies, nothing special, nothing that really hits me. The drums are good, but it's like it doesn't really hit me now. I feel like with maybe some re-listens it might. The section with purely an acoustic guitar and vocals is great. I love the like whispering that they pan to one ear and the vocals to the other. I love that part. Good lead guitar work, good bass. 6.5 for me, as I said.
Okay,
Your
fair
thoughts?
enough. I actually have quite similar thoughts, but I did give it a 7 out of 10 because I do think it fits the album really well. As you said, haunting and ominous, but strong intro. Great acoustics throughout. I really like the vocals, as always. Mikael always kills it.
My man.
And there are some ominous details throughout the song that really just sets the vibe. Just the same as any other song on this album, to be fair. It really gets you thinking. But it does drag a bit. And the vocal runs could vary a bit more, and it simply doesn't have that replayability factor I'm after. So this is a song that I will strictly put on if I'm listening to the album in its entirety. I wouldn't put this on in my own playlist, to put it like that. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the next song, which is called Minnets Yta. Now, this song also has some remnants of Allting tar slut, which is something I noticed in not the instrumentals this time, but rather the vocals. To just read it just as I wrote it, if you listen to a certain bit of the vocal runs, you'll hear remnants of Allting tar slut here as well. Much like Circuit's Prince, but instead of an instrumental piece, it's a vocal one instead. Now, the lyric in question, and the vocal itself, it comes when Mikael sings Slutet på en dröm, which is just like the way they build up the vocals on Allting tar slut. So that's also something I noticed. And I really like this, the fact that they're building up towards this epic end. So that kind of boosts the song a bit, in my opinion. But yeah, I also love the guitar solo on this song. That's just probably my favorite part, outside of the fact that it does have remnants of Allting tar slut. But yeah, other than that, it's a filler song for the album, much like De närmast sörjande. But I did give it a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my opinion. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, either I'm stupid or I just can't notice this stuff, because how do you notice this? I might not have paid fully attention, but this is one of the better songs on the album for me, actually.
Wow.
It's got a really good intro. I like the vocals and the piano. Yeah, the vocals are fantastic throughout, the vocal melodies too. It's much like the rest of the album. It is ominous, it is haunting. It's still a very beautiful song, you know. And that's really what I think Opeth is, very great at, setting that type of... setting that type of atmosphere. I like the arrangement that this song has. This song and the album has great bass. Martin Mendes did it so well on this album.
I agree, yeah.
And not only on this album, but I think he really is the high point of the new Opeth, as the fans call them. Yeah, like the prog rock era that started with Heritage. I think Martin Mendes is the strongest point of that. This type of music really fits him, and he's so tasteful with how he plays the bass and writes for the bass. Absolutely. This song has a great guitar solo. This song is simple yet effective. And we end where we began, with just the piano. I really love that. I love when you come full circle, though I don't think that's really the intention here. But let me have my little fairy tale.
Yeah, sure.
I gave this song an 8.
Yeah.
And now, from Minnets Yta, we go to Charlatan. I
think you were more correct with the first guess.
Charlatan. I'm actually... What's the English version of this?
Charlatan?
Yeah, let's just call it Charlatan.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just called Charlatan, I guess. Yeah, it's got a really cool intro, great drums throughout the entire song. Really cool keys too, I must say. It's got a really effective chorus, it fits great to the song, and a really scary intro. This song is it's a 7.5, it's a really good song, but not something I really love. It fits the album well, works well with the pacing of the album, for me at least. Nothing much else to say about this. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is actually the only song that I don't really have many notes on. The only things I really pointed out is the fact that it's haunting and ominous throughout. It keeps the vibe going, but it feels like this song is more of a story than a proper song, so it's more of another one of those filler songs to fully extend the album's length, to expand on the story, and to fully set the mood into what it eventually becomes. But yeah, it won't be put on outside of the album for me either. It's a 7 out of 10, still definitely worth a listen if you're going through the album, but it's nothing memorable, by no means. But now, from Charizard, let's go right on to Ingen sanning allas.
Charizard.
This song is a major upgrade from the last 3 songs, I'd say. It has a strong intro with great choice of instrumentals. It has a great build-up into the vocals, which I really appreciate. The vocals themselves, as always, Mikael, you kill it every damn time. You are far too good for this stuff. You are brilliant, I love you. But yeah, with the exception of his performance itself, I feel like something in the mixing went a bit awry. It feels like the vocals are a bit suppressed at times, but it does work well with the tune, so it doesn't drag it down by any means. But overall, it's just a decent song, so it's an 8 out of 10.
Oh boy.
Your thoughts?
Now, since we talked about, I would say, mid-Opeth songs with the previous song, let's go and talk to one of the best songs on this album, at least the second best in my books.
Oh.
This song has a fantastic intro, fantastic vocal melodies, and the vocals throughout the entire song are just amazing. It's peak Opeth, let's call it that.
Yeah.
Verses are fantastic, they are beautiful. The instrumentals are great. The bridge of this song, it's amazing. And it's just a beautiful song overall, and the outro is great. I love this song. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Wow, okay.
Now, on to the next song, Banemannen. I gave this a 7. I gave this a 7.5. It's got a jazzy intro. Entire song has that type of mood, with the drums and the piano leading the way until the verse, and then the strings join in the verse, and the strings also, they intensify with the vocals at times too, I noticed. So that's a really cool effect that they had. It's a very mysterious song. This sounds like the theme song for a villain, you're watching some evil genius or something. It's got good vocal melodies, great bass as always. Pretty much all I have to say about this song. It's a really enjoyable listen, but it's just a bit too repetitive. But I can really appreciate what this song is, for what it is.
Yeah.
On to you, I guess.
Fair enough. I actually rated this one of the highest songs on the album. I really liked this song. It has a great variation of instruments. I freaking love the instrumental delivery. It has these I'm gonna keep saying this, haunting and ominous vibes. It's just what the album is. It's haunting, it's ominous, it sets the vibe throughout. But yeah, the lyricism is good. Great vocal delivery. The ad-libs are interesting, but they don't really serve any particular purpose in my opinion. The replayability factor is what drags it down a bit, but it's still a really important song to have on this album, so that's why I ranked this higher than certain other songs. 8.5 out of 10.
Fair.
On to the next song, Kontinuerlig drift. This song is an 8 out of 10. It has a strong intro with a great bass line. I really noticed that as soon as I put it on, maybe because I used my bass boosted speakers, but still I could feel the bass, I could hear the bass. But yeah, good vocal delivery, intriguing build up overall. I'm a huge fan of the pace changes throughout the song. It has this great guitar solo at around midway through the song, I'd say, but it does drag a bit, hence why it's not a 9 and not a 10, but it's an 8 out of 10 as I said. On to you.
Yeah, at least for many, if I'm checking the greatest website of all time, Reddit, many rank this song as one of the highest. I don't think it's quite that. It's a really good song, don't get me wrong, but I rank this a 7.5, so just below you. I feel like this does have the replayability factor, I really do think so. Just depends on how much I will go back and re-listen to it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's got a great verses. I really like what they did there, how they wrote the verses. The drumming on this song is I really like, and the acoustic guitar parts too. It's got great vocals. I guess you can say that about just every song. Really good chorus. I love the arrangement, especially on this song, and the outro is beautiful, I must say. So this gets, as I said, a 7.5. Now onto the ending. I was about to say magnum opus, but not in my books at least. This is the
Right.
best song on the album, hands down. Allting tar slut.
Agreed.
The transition from kontinuerlig drift to this song is great. And it's just so smooth. And the intro has a great ominous piano intro, and I love the fact that that intro, it builds up until you get this huge boom, that big explosion, and then it calms a bit, and then you get to the verse. And my god, the verse is just fantastic vocally and instrumentally. I really like the vocal melodies that they did. It has a great mix-up of falsetto, chest and head voice, you know. So the song has great bass and drums, great instrumentals in the chorus, I must say. I don't think the vocals are too special in the chorus, but the vocals just throughout the entire song are amazing. So, and I think this is the perfect ending to the album. The bridge of this song, apart from the ending, is my favorite. This bridge is just fantastic, and I love that it just builds it all up until the explosion, the big kapupperari in the outro. And this outro is a top 5 outro of all time for me. It's huge. It's massive. The vocals are powerful. The drums are powerful. Everything is just powerful. It's a fabulous song. 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, that's honestly bang on what I have. I rated this a 9.5 as well. This is hands down one of the all-time greatest Opeth songs, in my opinion. It has this haunting and ominous intro that really sets the tone. It has a great opening riff that's so damn iconic already. It's only been 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
But goddamn, and also what a bass line. Come on. The vocal performance is hands down the best on the album, in my opinion. The instrumentals are phenomenal. It's powerful overall, just downright powerful. It has a great switch up throughout the tune, the pacing. I freaking love it. Strong lyricism overall. Now, yeah, as I said, this is one of my all-time favorite Opeth songs. It's so strong. It's a fantastic way to finish a strong album. This song concludes the album in the most astounding way, as it essentially recaps the entire journey in one epic song. As previously mentioned, songs like Svekets Prince and Minutes Eater kind of prepare us to the album's inevitable end, which of course is this tune, Allting tar slut. Now, I want to finish this off with the ending 2 lyrics, I think it is, the ending 2 lines. Yeah. But I've, of course, translated it into English. But this is because this lyric hit me. If everything comes to an end, is it worth coming home again? I really like that. There's something about it that really just hits home. But overall, this song is definitely such a powerful song, so important to the album itself. This is the way to end an album. You recap the journey, and you just have this powerful, strong song. Yeah. And it's just phenomenal. Again, 9.5 out of 10.
You know, I think the only reason that this doesn't get a 10 out of 10 for me, it's really close. It's really right up there. I think this is one of the best Opeth songs out there. They really hit this nail on the head, but like, I mean, I'm not as strict with 10 out of 10s as you are, because you only have like 4 10 out of 10s, I think, or something.
Yeah, I technically have 5, but I only have 4 written down.
Let's ignore the fact that I held up 3 fingers and said 4.
Nice one.
Yeah, but like, the thing is, I can't really compare this to, like, let's say the Lotus Eater, which I have as a 10 out of 10. Like, it's not up there yet, I think. I think that might just be I haven't listened to it enough in the proper settings yet. I think it's like really, ideally this is like a 9.9 for me. But yeah, it's a fantastic song. It's like really right up there, but it's just, I don't really know what it's missing. It's just missing that one tiny push, I'd say. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have left to say on this song, especially.
Yeah, same. It's such a strong ending
Yeah,
to
it
a
is.
phenomenal album overall. But yeah, AJB, what are your overall thoughts on the album?
Yeah, alright. Well, I want to have a little bit of talk about the themes and the lyrics actually on this album a bit later.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I added all of this up, it got a 7.5 out of 10 for me, this album. I think this can go up to an 8, maybe an 8.5 with time, but it's just not there for me yet. I really think this is the perfect ranking for this album, at least for me personally. I'd say this is in my top 6 Opeth albums, yeah, I'll say that. It's definitely my favorite new Peth album, as they call it, but it's between this one and Pale Communion. This album sets an amazing atmosphere. The vocals are fantastic. The bass work is amazing. I swear to God, they saw reverb and delay at the mixing board and they just said yes, because what the fuck? There's so much reverb it feels on this album. It creates a huge sound, so I can't really blame them at least. Yeah, I love the lyrics. One thing I really noticed, I listened to the Swedish version, but I read all of the English lyrics instead of the Swedish ones because fuck Swedish, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite obvious that death is a reoccurring theme throughout most of these songs, I'd say. It seems like the songs are exploring death and what it is after, etc. That's one thing I really noticed. You know, if you directly translate the name in Cauda Venenum, which is Latin, yeah, it means poison in the tail. That didn't mean what I thought it would, but shut up.
Yeah, that actually makes quite a huge
Does-
amount of metaphorical sense. So that's
Yeah, because on the first song, you know, the transition from Livets träd to go to Säkerhets Prince we have, because if you stop thinking, then you will be dead. I don't know. Alright, so final point is, you know, most of the songs, they all feel like, because you have this ominous atmosphere and it makes you think about death and what death is, what comes after, and most of these like intro sentences that come from these random ass Swedish people, they're all talking about some sort of death or something related to death. And I really think they nailed the theming, well, at least I believe it's the theming, and the lyrics on this album. It really hits hard, you know. At least for me it does. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. You're more of the lyric connoisseur, so I'll let you lead the party if you want.
yeah. No, I wouldn't actually say there's too many lyrics that properly stick out to me, with the exception of the ending lyrics to Allting tar slut. But the lyrics throughout, they're so solid, yet none of them stick out. But I think this is because all of it sets this vibe. Again, it's ominous. It really just tells a tale of, well, poison, as the name quite clearly states. And this could be metaphoric for numerous amount of things. It could be something like toxicity in one's day-to-day life. So, for instance, with the last pair of lyrics, if everything comes to an end, is it worth coming home again? It's just, I don't know, it's just a way of putting it in a way that gets you thinking, and it just gets depressing at times, man. It's powerful and it does the job quite well. But yeah, overall, when I put all my scores together, I got a 7.9 out of 10. And I think that's a fair rating, although I would like to round it up to 8, but I won't. I think this is mostly due to the songs in the middle section that are 7s and 7.5. And don't get me wrong, this is probably my favourite Opeth album right now. And this is because of, well, the entirety of it. The haunting atmosphere, the ominous vibes, everything about it is so class. But if I go to just play songs at random, I'd rather go on Damnation. But if I'm going through one in its entirety, this is the Opeth album I go to. That's the best way of putting it for me.
Yeah. And that's valid, you know, so.
Yeah, right, that will do it for now. Thank you guys so much for listening in. We really like this album. We highly recommend you guys check it out. Thank you so much for dropping by, AGP. We greatly appreciate you having on board. And what a face reveal, just out of nowhere. Who would have thought? But yeah, without further ado, have a good one. Goodbye.